Hello everyone and welcome to our Step 2 video on URIs. There will be no jokes for this lecture. URIs are serious business and comprise a devastating group of infections that affect our country daily. The URI is snot funny. Wait a minute, that was terrible. Did McInnis write that? Who let him out of his cage? We can't let McInnis loose in the office. We'll be buried in bad jokes before lunch.
So, I hear one of the other lecturers has been making some very unprofessional remarks about me. What's his name? Dr. Doofus? Dr. Goofus?
Dr. Lewis.
No, what's his last name?
Lewis.
Wait, what? His name's Lewis? Lewis? Wow. I bet he got beat up every single day in junior high. No wonder he's so socially awkward.
Who is the real Dr. McInnis? Let's look at some equations. Doctor plus color-coordinated shirts plus teleprompter equals Dr. McInnis. Let's try another one. Dr. McInnis plus sweater equals Mr. Rogers. One more. Dr. McInnis plus beard minus lameness multiplied by humor equals Dr. Lewis. See? We can't argue with math.
Dr. Lewis minus beard times ugly divided by square root of stupid face.
In the last video, I might have lightly suggested that Dr. McInnis was a beard-loving Dr. Lewis groupie. That maybe wasn't in the strictest terms the truth. So I'm sorry.
I think I need to address the Dr. Lewis issue again. I know he's been making a lot of wild claims. Dr. McInnis is boring. Dr. McInnis reminds me of Mr. Rogers. Dr. McInnis eats kittens for breakfast. But the fact of the matter is, Dr. Lewis is kind of a megalomaniac and a prima donna. You ought to see some of the crazy demands he makes on his lecture contracts. 2 pounds of organic marshmallows, a new pair of silk Calvin Klein boxers before each lecture, still in the package, leopard print furniture and curtains in the green room, and a velvet painting of Elvis high-fiving the Dalai Lama. So the real question is, why on earth do we put up with his nonsense? Well, frankly, it's because he's kind of emotionally fragile and sensitive. And because his lecturing makes me look so good by comparison.
It's time to let you all know about the hidden war that is waging here at DIT. For what seems like eons, well, I don't know, like 2, 3, maybe 4 years, I don't know. I've had a nemesis, a villain, a scoundrel to contend with. A man so evil that not even Darth Vader himself would call a friend. Well, when Darth Vader was bad, of course, in the first 2 3/4 of the original trilogy, not when he turned good at the end. Don't get me started on the prequels. And who is this demon of a man? Don't be fooled by his super boring persona. He goes by the name McInnis. So, onward to battle, weapons will be honed, arrows will be notched, blood will be spilt. Actually, we just kind of make fun of each other in intros. Something like, McInnis likes Justin Bieber, Twilight, and maybe My Little Pony. Yeah, just stuff like that. Let the battle begin!
Well, Dr. Lewis is at it again, trying to start up this ridiculous rivalry between us, calling me boring and saying I'm his nemesis. But think about it. Who's really the villain around here? Let me give you a little clue. It's always the guy with the beard. Osama bin Laden had a beard. Jafar has a beard. Satan has a beard. And he's the #1 most evil being of all time. And get this. On Star Trek, there was Mr. Spock. Normal, clean-shaven. But when they wanted to make Spock evil, how'd they do it? They gave him a beard. So, to sum up, beard, evil. No beard, good. It's just that simple.
I know I've been talking a lot of smack with this intro beef with Dr. McInnis, but now's my chance to let you know what's really happening around here at DIT. Everybody thinks Dr. McInnis is a mild-mannered dork who knits cat sweaters. Wrong! Well, the cat sweater thing might be right. But in fact, he's more like your Silence of the Lambs type of guy. You think I'm in a super fancy studio right now, sipping on mochachinos and having my makeup done by supermodels? Well, that's a trick question because I don't need makeup. But no, I'm in McInnis' basement. I've been down here for years making lecturer videos for him. If I don't say high yield 3 times a lecture, I get the hose. Okay, so hit that comment button and type free Dr. Lewis and McInnis knits cat sweaters. Uh-oh, here he comes. And now for a very high yield lecture on respiratory anatomy.
No, you are funny. Just try to be a little more likable. Oh, listen, I gotta go. Dr. Lewis.
Dude, put on a shirt. I don't care if Twilight's your favorite movie. Just because it's Casual Friday doesn't mean you can run around half naked. And stop howling. You're not a werewolf. McInnis, every Friday. Well, I guess it's better than My Little Pony Tuesdays. Man, you don't want to know what he wears those days.
So, Dr. Lewis wants to talk trash and make little jokes, does he? I guess I'm the only one around here who thinks you're better off studying instead of wasting your time with his stupid comment battle. I'm above all that. I'm not going to stoop to his level. Stoop to his level. Well, that settles it. The meme has spoken. One of my favorite things about teaching with DIT is getting to interact with students, whether it's on Twitter or at conferences or even at graduations. But there's a disturbing trend sweeping medical schools around the world. Students who try to emulate Dr. Lewis by growing scraggly little chin mullets. Nice nose hair. Face it, fellas, 3 weeks worth of peach fuzz is not going to make you any smarter. But if you want to keep flooding Dr. Lewis's Twitter feed with awkward hirsute selfies, who am I to stand in your way?
I am a typical medical student, and I have been invited by DIT in order to expose the tyranny of evil Dr. McInnis. Because of his evilness, I have to hide my appearance and change my voice. My goal is to inspire all the other medical students to vote Team Lewis. Dr. Lewis is the best lecturer at DIT. He is smart and handsome and kind to animals. If I could, I would have his baby. I mean, I am a female, yes, and would gladly have his baby, except he is married to a smoking hot wife with a good sense of humor, and Dr. Lewis would never ever cheat on her. That's just how great he is. Okay, so that just about does it. As a recap, Dr. Lewis is good and very, very attractive. Dr. McInnis is bad, and I want to throw up in my mouth a little bit every time I see him.
In fact, let me show you a clip from the very first video Dr. Lewis ever recorded for Doctors in Training.
Next up are the aminoglycosides, and this is a big group of antibiotics, and it in years past was a go-to medication for severe gram-negative infections.
I give you Dr. Lewis, king of the super nerds. I don't even know what to say about Sprinkles, the psychedelic beanie baby unicorn.
McInnis, a man who is bland. His job is to teach, but his jokes overreach. But as soon as he speaks, we all fall asleep. It's sad, I know, and the students all weep. Please, McInnis, you're in too deep. Lewis is strong with more up his sleeve. And now it's time to take the test. Your intros are sad, you must confess. And though you're dressed for success with colored shirts and hair caressed, my beard and I are not impressed. Welcome to the battle, this won't take long. With beats so sick and rhymes so strong, McInnis is lagging with harmonica songs. I'm wrecking your intros like Mighty King Kong. The students all wait with barely a murmur, worried for McInnis whose hands start to tremor. You see, I'm the chief and you're the learner. In Thunderdome, I'm Mad Max, you're Tina Turner. My intros are gold, your comedy stinks. I'm Darth Vader, you're Jar Jar Binks. My rhymes are sick, your diss is baloney. I'm the Black Stallion, you're My Little Pony.
The next section of the course is called ER, ICU, and Surgery. So, wait a minute. Dr. Lewis, I think you dropped something. He's going to be so crushed. He loves Pinkie Pie.
Now, many of you may be fans of Dr. McInnis's color-coordinated shirts, but I'm here to tell you the truth behind those shirts. It has nothing to do with lecture topics. You see, Dr. McInnis isn't even human. He's a bunch of different robots, and each new version gets a new color. And that explains why he's always requesting Mr. Roboto every time we go to the club. But you might also notice that you don't see a green shirt McInnis. We had to discontinue that one because it kept trying to mate with the cameraman. I wish I could get that out of my mind. But each new version gets better and better. His lectures are better. He doesn't cry as much when we take away his Justin Bieber pillow. He almost seems human. Don't worry, we're working on his jokes.
And the best part about the psychiatry section is that I teach most of it, so you don't have to worry about Dr. Lewis blathering on and on and on. Blah, 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 Beard, blah, 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 Justin Bieber. His shtick gets old in a hurry. I've been looking at some of the student feedback about the course so far, and it ranges from constructive, thanks for the great lecture, I never understood this topic so well before, to the barely literate, OMG, Dr. Lewis, you're hilarious, LOL, to downright mean. Dude, McInnis, stop trying so hard. You suck. Leave the jokes to Dr. Lewis. He's way funnier than you. And, well, why shouldn't he be? Let me let you in on a little secret. He's not a real doctor. He's an actor. Before we hired him, he was living in his mom's basement, selling plasma just so he could afford ramen noodles. And as for that beard, I didn't know you could make a beard out of hair extensions. But that's none of my business.
Welcome to our Step 2 video on Disorders of the Kidney, Part 2. Let's get going.
Hey gang, it's your old pal Dr. Lewis here. Before we begin, I want to tell you how terrific I think Dr. McInnis is. Yes sirree. He's a real role model for me. A great teacher, a snazzy dresser, and pretty easy on the eyes too, if you know what I mean. You know, I just might be developing a little man crush on Dr. McInnis. And why not? He's swell.
Did you guys hear something?
In this video and the next one, we're going to be talking about glomerular diseases, starting with...
Hey, it worked! This is how you hijack a lecture, you dork! I'm Dr. McInnis, and I'm a big nerd! Wonder if I can make him... nice. What else? Ew, gross.
Ugh. That was close. In this video, we're going to talk about starvation and malnutrition, or how our bodies generate energy when energy substrates are hard to come by. But first, since it's Take Your Child to Work Day here at DIT, I'd like to introduce my oldest son, Andrew.
Dad, is this where you make your videos?
This is it. See, we got the camera, we got the lights.
Awesome. Hey Dad, is there any way I could get an autograph?
Well, sure, I guess. I mean, it's kind of weird. I live with you. Why do you need my autograph?
No, I don't want your autograph. I want Dr. Lewis's autograph.
Hello everyone, welcome to our Step 1 video on Biochem 13, lipids. 1 second. Here's to my friend Andrew. Here's hoping you were adopted. Your hero, Dr. Lewis.
You guys like our DIT swag, right? Well, I want to say a word about a new promotional item for this year, the official Doctors in Training coloring book. The key to successful marketing is brand awareness, right? And today's preschoolers are tomorrow's medical students. So if you'd like a copy to give to your niece or nephew, or maybe you've got kids of your own, be sure to let us know. Here's a picture of Dr. Lewis rounding at the hospital. Here's a picture of Dr. Lewis rescuing a cat from a tree. Dr. Lewis running barefoot through a meadow. Dr. Lewis shirtless on horseback. Are all these pictures of Dr. Lewis? I can't believe I gave one of these to my kids. Big mistake. It's time to settle this feud once and for all, Lewis.
Fine with me, McInnis. This course isn't big enough for the both of us.
On 3.
If that's the way you want it, let's go.
1. Two. And don't get too upset about the little rivalry between Dr. Lewis and me. I'm sure we'll work it all out eventually.
And who knows, we might even end up as best friends.
Bye.